An ankle injury has Canelo Alvarez out of his December 6th fight. I'm Jim Baskel with the latest ESPN headlines. He was scheduled to fight Joshua Clottey, so that is now over. We are joined on the phone by ESPN boxing insider Dan Rafael. And Dan, this was to be an HBO fight. He signed a contract with HBO. How big a blow is this for the network?
Listen, Jim, it's a big deal because not only were they bringing back to the network one of the biggest stars in boxing. Remember, he had appeared on HBO a number of times as recently as 2 years ago. But then when all of the Golden Boy fighters and fights moved over to Showtime, he went with them and became one of their main guys. They wanted him back. They made their amends with Golden Boy. They had some problems. Now those are behind them. Canelo Alvarez was the gem that they wanted. Made a big fanfare announcement a couple of weeks ago that he had signed a multi-fight contract exclusive to HBO. And the big part for the network was he was going to perform live on HBO, not only pay-per-view, where his last 3 fights have been. So this was supposed to be the first fight of that contract, reintroduce their viewers to Canelo Alvarez, and then move forward next spring with potentially a major pay-per-view fight against the middleweight champion Miguel Cotto.
Okay, so now I'm going to read this quote from Golden Boy Boxing Media. Due to persistent ankle injury, Canelo Alvarez must withdraw from his December 6th bout. That was to be Joshua Clottey. Now that that's out and he moves forward after the ankle gets healed up, what's the likelihood, as you mentioned, that it's going to be somebody other than Clottey like Cotto?
I think it's a very good chance that this fight with Clottey will not be rescheduled. I spoke to Oscar De La Hoya from Golden Boy, that's Canelo's promoter, this evening about this exact situation, and he basically said, listen, we're going to sit and talk with Canelo's people and the management, we'll talk to HBO, but there's a very good possibility that we will just move forward to Cinco de Mayo weekend, which would be May 2nd, and talk about trying to make the fight with Miguel Cotto, who also is not going to fight the rest of this year. At one time, they were scheduled, or the thought was they would fight back-to-back weeks. And then Miguel Cotto said he would take the rest of this year off. Canelo Alvarez now is not fighting in December. So other than the two companies getting together and making a deal, which the impediment to that of their bad relationship is now behind them between Golden Boy and Top Rank, they need to sit and make a deal. But all the other things are not a problem at this point. It's just a matter of can they make the match, in which case this fight between Cotto and Canelo, in my estimation, is the biggest fight in boxing other than the possibility, the remote possibility of Manny Pacquiao facing Floyd Mayweather Jr.
He's ESPN boxing insider Dan Rafael. Dan, thanks for the insight.
Thank you, Jim.
Again, Canelo Alvarez is out of his December 6th fight against Joshua Clottey thanks to an ankle injury. You can read more about this story right here on ESPN.com. For the latest ESPN headlines, I'm Jim Baskel.